I had a dream.
Why are you so late?
Well, I said it. Okay.
Hello there, welcome to the Meg Food Report. My name is Zero Food, but Mr. Food's fun. Today, we'll have special guests with us, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too, Michelle. Miss Lovely.
So, what are we going to be reviewing today?
Well, today we are going to be reviewing the new and old version of the movie Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yes, Romeo and Juliet is such a great movie. Today we will be reviewing Act 3, Scene 5.
Right. In this scene, where Romeo and Juliet spend the night together, and the next morning, her father Capulet and Lady Capulet announce that she'll be getting married to Paris. Else she won't be welcome to them.
Yep, that's the one.
So let's start by reviewing the first part of the scene, which with Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I think that the old version was more showy and inappropriate in that part of the scene.
Okay. Yeah, it is very short, but the new version has just the same amount of that kind of stuff showing.
Not at all. In the new version, they made sure that nothing was shown. In the old movie, they didn't really blur out anything. It was way more provocative.
Well, besides that, I think the older movie was much more like the real play, and followed the same storyline. But in the new one, they changed a lot of the parts, and it's not the same as the real storyline.
Well, in the new one, they modernized it so that the people our age would understand it more.
Yeah, but it doesn't follow the right storyline.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Whatever. Well, what did you think of the last part of the scene with where Juliet talks to her parents?
I think that the new and the old version shows a similar scene, but the old one is less violent and shows the scene much better.
Well, I will have to agree with you on that one. The old one definitely shows that scene very well.
Yes, it definitely does. Well, what movie do you like better?
I like the new version better because it is more modern, and I like modern movies because I can understand it more.
Well, I think the old version of this movie is more realistic because it makes more sense and follows the storyline perfectly.
Well, the acting in the new version is better, I think, and it's just more modern than the old version.
Okay, let's be honest. The old one is way better.
How?
Well, the old version makes sense to the film because it was based on the 1500s, and there's no such thing as a prince in 2000. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, I agree with you. The old version is put very well together.
Yeah, the old version is the best.
No, not the best.
Yes, it is. Are you mad? Well, that concludes the end of our report. Have a good night, everyone, and don't forget to check out our sponsors, McDonald's.
Today we will be reviewing the totally awesome, very dramatic Romeo and Juliet.
Indeed we are, but not just one, two different versions. It's Zeffirelli versus Baz.
Each movie had its ups and downs. Oh. Let's start with the Zeffirelli version. It was very easy to follow and understand. All the actors were very good.
Most of the actors were quite good, but in my opinion, Juliet's acting was very overdramatic and annoying.
Yes, that is true.
In my opinion, the Romeo in the Zeffirelli version was better than the actor in the Baz version because he just put more emotion into his acting.
What did you think of the Baz version?
The things I liked about the Baz version is that they modernized it very well. Capulet was very good at acting angry, and he made the scene good.
Yes, that is all true, but every movie has its flaws. In the Baz version, it was very confusing and hard to follow, especially through the whole fight scene.
So overall, which one did you like better?
I like the Zeffirelli version better. It was a lot easier to follow, unlike the Baz version.
I have to agree with all of that. The Zeffirelli version was definitely my favorite and overall better produced.
Well, that's all for today.
Hello and welcome to the rooftop reveal.
Today, we are comparing the old and new versions of Romeo and Juliet.
First, we will compare the pros of the old movie.
Wow, it sure is windy up here!
I thought the actors in this movie were very talented, and they represented the characters from the play very well.
The scene when old man Capulet was furious at Juliet was very well done.
I agree. Juliet acting in that scene was spot on.
I agree, and her expressions while she was talking were phenomenal.
I think there really was only one pro about this movie.
When old man Capulet was yelling at Juliet when she was supposed to marry Paris,
Yes, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I really like the acting in some of the scenes though.
Personally, I don't really like the new version.
I like it, but I do agree some of the things aren't very well done.
Sure, the new version is missing a few things, but at least the soundtrack is good.
Yeah, and at least they weren't naked. First, let's talk about the new movie.
The acting is terrible!
Okay, don't be that harsh.
I think that it's kind of weird how everything's so modern, except for the way that they speak.
I can agree with it in some ways. I can agree with that. I can't imagine what I would do if someone started to talk to me like that.
Thee art thou, though. Let's talk about the cons of the new movie.
It was pretty dramatic.
No. Let's talk about the cons of the old movie.
It was pretty dramatic, but I say it was well done.
Me too. I thought that everything fit well together.
Sometimes it was hard to understand what they meant.
I agree. Their way of speech. I agree. Their way of speech is a lot different than nowadays.
Now it's time to vote. 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down.
I would give 2 thumbs down for the new version and 2 thumbs up for the old version.
I disagree. I would give 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down for each.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today.
See you next time on Rooftop Reveal.
I'm Katrina and this is Juliet. We're on top of Mount Everest to talk about today's movies. We are going to review Act 3 from the 2 movies of Romeo and Juliet from 1968 and 1996.
Let's start with the movie from 1968. I really like how the actors really get into the fight scene. It made it seem very real in how they kept it up for a while instead of just finishing it off.
I agree. I also find that the actor for Romeo does a good job in putting a lot of emotion into his lines, and it really fits his character because he's supposed to have these extreme feelings.
Yeah, did you also notice how Juliet and the nurse cried when they found out that Tybalt had died? It was very good acting.
And then when the nurse blamed Romeo, Juliet turned so quickly on her, and then she was blaming herself for saying such things about Romeo.
Exactly. The only thing that I think didn't go very well was the part when Romeo had to leave Juliet's room. He didn't get dressed and leave fast enough for that, leave fast enough, and like Shakespeare makes it in his play.
And before that, there's the part when Romeo gets out of bed and he's naked. Like, seriously, did they have to put that in there?
I know what you mean, but at least Juliet did a nice job of crying afterwards, so that her mother could actually think that she was still crying over Tybalt. And when she turned cold on the nurse, when she told her.
Oh, oops, my bad, sorry.
Told her to marry Paris, since Romeo was banished, unlike the movie in 1996.
Speaking of the 1996 movie, may I just say that the actor for Romeo was hot! And he did a good job in the fight scene against Tybalt. Even if it ended a little too quickly, at least he got hurt in it and had someone to hurt it.
Couldn't agree more, Katrina. I also thought that the fight scene was a little too busy. You just didn't know where to look.
Exactly. And you see Mercutio's wound. It doesn't even look fatal. And what was with the guns? They were talking about swords, and they put it with guns.
It doesn't make sense. Talking about not making sense, they missed the whole scene.
Yeah, they put some of the lines beginning of the next scene, but it doesn't make much sense. Said the line so calmly, but she wasn't even upset.
Just like when Romeo was with Friar Lawrence. He didn't even try to kill himself. That part is so important to the rest of the scene.
I agree. At least we didn't have to see Romeo and Juliet naked. The director did a good job of covering that up.
Yeah, and when Romeo had to leave, I liked how he didn't have much time to go. He was very rushed. But when he leaves, Juliet doesn't cry.
I know what you mean, but at least Capulet did a fantastic job in the argument scene. It was intense. I was a little scared myself.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I think it's time to vote. First, let's vote on the movie from 1968. 3, 2, 1.
And now the movie from 1996. 3, 2, 1.
Well, that's all we have for you today. We hope you liked it. Watch out for our next review. See you next time. Bye.
I'm Phoenix, this is my good friend Gundy, and today we will be reviewing the Zeffirelli film versus the Baz film, Romeo and Juliet.
What a wonderful day. Wouldn't you say so, Phoenix?
Lovely day, but now we should review these marvelous films. Tell them about the video, Gundy.
Well, in this video, we are rating two movies. Both movies are Romeo and Juliet. One is the old version and one is the new one. We will be rating Act 3.
First, let's go over the Zeffirelli film. Gundy, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I feel that the setting according to the era are very well done, but I think that the acting isn't as good as the Baz film.
I disagree. I think the acting is better in the Zeffirelli version because it seems real. In the modern version, the whole movie seems kind of fake with all the guns and language. They just don't really fit.
I can see where you're coming from, but how do you feel about the costumes?
I think that the costumes compared to the era of the movie are quite similar. They both do a good job of making them fit with the scene.
I would agree with you on that one, Phoenix. Let's take a look at the characters specifically.
Yes, a very good idea, Gundy. I noticed that Mercutio in the Baz film seemed a bit more aggressive with Tybalt. When he was trash-talking Romeo, and then the father of Capulet came to tell Juliet that she would marry to Paris on Thursday. He did a very good job of acting and looking angry.
Oh yes, he did so. He did a marvelous job in being angry. But I think that Father Capulet in the Zeffirelli film also did a good job.
So Gundy, how do you rate each movie?
In conclusion, I think they both did a very good job, but I would have to give the Baz film 2 thumbs up. Their acting was truly inspiring.
And I would have to give the Zeffirelli film a thumbs up and the Baz film a thumbs down. So there you have it. 3 thumbs up and 1 thumb down. Have a good day, everyone.
Hello, I'm Sydney, and this is Megan. Welcome to our show. Today we are at the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France, to tell you about the 2 versions of Romeo and Juliet.
We're going to compare and review the 2 versions of Romeo and Juliet. One was directed by Franco Zeffirelli and was released in 1968. The second was directed by Baz Luhrmann and was released in 1996.
Both of the movies are lacking in some ways but can be strong in others.
For example, the fight scene between Mercutio and Tybalt. In the older version, I thought that the scene was very well done, but in the new movie, I found that it was too much time spent on that scene.
Another example was when Capulet got mad at Juliet. In the newer version, you could really tell the anger streaming off of him like a river. However, in the other version, Capulet did not show as much expression.
Both versions of the movie were interesting in their own ways, but it was not hard to decide which one was the better of the 2.
I agree. There was one movie that stood out more than the other. I personally think that the Baz Luhrmann version was awful because of the acting. I thought that Claire Danes, the actor who played Juliet, did not do the best job at portraying her.
The Zeffirelli version was definitely the better of the two.
I'm guessing that he thought that if the main actors were really attractive, then more people would watch them, and they wouldn't notice the terrible performance.
The Zeffirelli version was definitely the better of the two. There were some things in the movie that I don't think were as well done, but I'd rather watch the Zeffirelli version than the other versions.
We are going to give the 1996 version 2 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down, and the 1968 version 3 thumbs up and 1 thumb down.
These are our opinions on the two versions of Romeo and Juliet. Thank you for joining us today. Come back next week where we'll be reviewing Mary Poppins.
Good morning, everyone. Our names are Raven Darkholm and Isabella Liliana. Today, Isabella and I will be unveiling the scheme in Act 3 between the movie of old and new Romeo and Juliet.
What did you just call me?
Isabella.
No. My name is Isabella.
Anyway, let's start with the mystery investigation of the two movie versions.
I thought the mother in the newer version was more compassionate than the one in the older version.
Yeah, though the mother in the older version were just like how the original script described her.
I also think Old Man Capulet was better acting in the newer version though. He wasn't as angry in the older version. Okay, I think Old Man Capulet was better acting in the newer one though. He wasn't as angry in the older one.
Yeah, 100%.
But the rest of the acting was mediocre, at best.
No, I think it was a little better than what I thought it would be.
What? How could you say that? Did you watch the movie?
I mean, most of the actors were very inexperienced, so they did a good job based on their skill level.
I thought the older version was the best thing I ever saw, except for when it was too revealing.
Yeah, let's not talk about that part.
I second that motion.
I like the newer version because it was more exciting.
Why? Is it because it didn't stay strictly on script? I thought the older one was the bomb for that.
No, it's not that. It's just that there was like a lot more fighting and blood.
The newer one had more blood than the older one, and that is why the older one is better. Are you confused about something?
No, I'm not confused. The new one had guns, and that was awesome.
Raven, you know that guns cause more injury than swords because they are in sheaths, and guns can go off in a second because they're not.
But guns are better than swords because they're cool. I like guns.
No, they aren't. Why don't you get it? Swords take longer to kill you, and guns can kill you in a heartbeat. You know,
I'm trying to say that the new one was better because it had guns.
No, I said it's my case that the older one was better.
Why?
The older one was more authentic.
Isabella, I don't like it authentic. I like it exciting.
That's not how you say my name.
Then how do you say it?
Isabella!
Fine then, Isabella.
Great. Now that we got that settled, who was your favorite character in Act 3?
Mercutio, because he died.
What? No. How did you like him?
He died. He was like... he died.
No, Tybalt was better because he was the cousin to the pretty Juliet.
Yeah, well, Tybalt killed Mercutio. Are you insane? Tybalt is a jerk.
He killed Mercutio by accident, but it was Romeo's fault for putting his arm there.
But Mercutio would have definitely won that fight.
He shouldn't have even fought because Tybalt saw Romeo at the party, not Mercutio.
So what you're saying is it's Romeo's fault that Mercutio is dead.
Yes!
Great, because Mercutio is only a favorite character because he's dead.
Yeah, good thing he's dead.
Yeah, otherwise I would have to find a new favorite character.
Yeah, you would. Anyways, do you think the prince is pretty cute?
No. But he is really good at this role. Why? Do you think he is?
No. I was just wondering if you thought he was. I give the newer version 2 thumbs down.
I would give the newer version 2 thumbs down for guns and blood.
Well, I give the older version 2 thumbs up.
And older versions.
Oh, look at that. Time. Oh, look at that. Time slipped away from us once again. Good night, everyone, and see you the next time on #Movie Talk.
Welcome to K-Face Movie Reviews. I'm Kat.
And I'm Kendall.
We're reviewing Shakespeare. Yes, the old man who uses the another girl.
Now, Katrina, have some respect.
Holy respect me? I can't even process the thought. Now, Kendall dear, our audience are begging to see my review, and you're going first, so please connect with me.
I hate being rushed, but I guess if the audience demands it. My review is the following. I thought it was very good, from the acting, to the direction, to the costumes, to even the scenery. It was amazing. I was thoroughly impressed by the entire thing. I was convinced that Mercutio was only slightly hurt at the beginning of the act, and it was a surprise when he suddenly died. I thought the actors clearly displayed their emotions during this scene, and it was very well executed. The death of both Tybalt and Mercutio was so shocking to me, and I was blown away. Anyway, as for the remainder of the act, I thought it was beautiful. Juliet played her part perfectly, from being angry to being sad to being heartbroken all in one. It was absolutely wonderful. The actors did an amazing job in the later scenes displaying the love that their characters had for each other, and they pulled it off perfectly. In my opinion, though, some of the scenes were not necessary.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that part, but to be honest, it was enjoyable. Rather old-fashioned for my taste, but if you prefer seeing old people using English, which is really hard to understand, then you would love this. And honestly, it was so dramatic. It was so hard to take serious, the movie. Because they were so oh no, he's dead. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, move on. So, let's just get that out there. And then also, how she's oh, Romeo. Oh my goodness, girl, it's great. We get the point. You love the guy. Move on. Honestly, we don't want to hear you playing, oh, Romeo, where out there. Who cares? Okay? I just felt like I had to get that out there. Okay. Honestly, though, the acting, seriously, a 5-year-old could have done that.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm so serious. And then, the second movie, okay, so you know how we're supposed to compare it for all our audience out there? The second movie, how are these people actors? Shouldn't they be working at a gas station? I'm sorry, that was really outspoken, but seriously, I'm almost positive that you could have done a better job than those people, especially Mercutio. Oh my word, kid, you look like you're either high or doing a very, very forced laugh. Seriously, dude, get your act together, and if you can't act, how are these kids even getting paid for this?
I would beg to differ. I thought the acting was absolutely amazing.
You always beg to differ over everything.
I'm a huge fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, and seeing him in that movie, it blew me away. He did an amazing job.
You can't deliver the lines.
Again, I beg to differ.
I know.
I enjoyed all of the actors, and I thought that no one could have done a better job. They portrayed their characters perfectly.
I'm almost positive that my 5-year-old brother could have acted better than Mercutio, and my 2-year-old sister could have been a better Juliet. Trust me, this kid, she knows how to fake cry. That girl, honestly, it's okay, so we can barely see the tears, and you look like you're almost laughing.
Okay, fine. I can admit that some of it was a bit over the top.
Cheesy,
But rather than being that, it was good. I enjoyed it. If I were to rate both of these movies, I would give them 2 thumbs up.
Be honest, she's being so generous. But I mean, that's Kendall for you guys. Honestly, if you want to know something, audience, she's very easy. You could create a play, and you could be amateurs, and she'd be 2 thumbs up, because that's a great thing. You deliver the lines great. Honestly, you did not deliver the lines great. You did not know your lines. Or you couldn't even give it a realistic kind of point of view. Honestly, when those people were trying to act, they were not acting. And when they tried to deliver those Shakespeare lines, oh my goodness, just stop right there. You can't talk Shakespeare. So what's the point?
Okay, let's put an end to this quickly before you go off on a whole rampage and blow the entire city up.
Haven't I already?
If you were to give the movie a review out of 2 thumbs, what would you give it?
Okay, first movie, I'm going to go easy on this one. They were okay, so I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up for all those audience out there who love the movie. And for the second movie, seriously, dudes, I'm not kidding when I say my siblings could have acted better. 2 thumbs down, please.
Wow. Okay, well, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Katrina does not recommend you watch these movies, but I'm in love with them and I recommend them for any audience.
See ya.
Bye.
So, Luke, what do you think of the 2 different Romeo and Juliet movies?
Well, Tony, I was very impressed with how the producers pulled off the storyline, which is so difficult to start with on screen.
True.
But there was some flawed ideas on how it was laid out.
That's true, Luke. Are you referring to the modern day movie?
Yes, I am, Tony.
I agree. I was not impressed with how they started off the movie, with lots of unnecessary yelling and screaming.
That's right, and I found it really difficult to catch the lines that they were saying, because they're in a modern day setting, it really didn't fit together while I was watching it.
Yes, I found the special effects were very disappointing. They were poorly done. They are what I call mediocre.
That's where I'm going to bring in the second movie into play, because, although it wasn't perfect, it was brought up, I think, in a very good way, much better than our modern day lovers.
Right you are. The more classical version of the movie was far superior to the modern day version. I think it was because of the set. It was fitting to the story because it was better Verona as far as scenery goes.
Yes, and I like how the producers chose the actors, not necessarily on looks or popularity, but on the quality, which I think helped them a lot.
That is so true. So Luke, how would you rate the 2 movies as a whole, all together?
I would split it 50-50. 1 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down.
I'd have to disagree. I'd give them 2 thumbs down. Both movies were not of my liking.
This video is brought to you by Nike, our gracious supporters over in California. See you next time.
Yeah, it is very showy. Oh my goodness. Where Romeo and Juliet spend the night together. Oh my goodness. I can't do this. Of that kind of stuff.
Okay, are you serious?
Okay, stop looking at me. Okay.
Karaoke.
Just don't say blah blah. Just do it.